everybody, and welcome to Reed's Reads, Spider-Man Crawl Space Edition. Please check us out at the SpidermanCrawlspace.com. Well, I'm here, of course, to review Amazing Spider-Man number 3, better known as 897 Legacy Numbers. That's right, we're almost at 900, right? All the excitement about the big mystery. What did Spider-Man do? Yeah, don't even worry about this. Let's get on to actually what Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. have delivered with issue 3 of their run here. First of all, the pros. As many have said before, John Romita Jr.'s artwork is just stellar. It just feels not only a comfort, but also the dark atmosphere of not only the storyline with Tombstone, of course, brutally beating Spider-Man and talking about his origin is so well conveyed. The darkness, the pieces, even the quieter moments we see in the storyline between Janice Lincoln and Randy Robertson, as well as the moments, too, with the flashbacks of Lonnie Lincoln's origins before he became Tombstone, and even a couple other things I'll talk about a little later on with Paul and the debt collector. It just resonates very well for a storyline. It's very telling and very brutal. It has the actions do it, even with the dialogue. It really sets not only the move, but the tone of the storyline. So it's actually very well done. And honestly, this is probably the best Tombstone has been written in a very long time. Not only do we get in the whole pieces of Lonnie Lincoln and really what happened to him growing up in Harlem, and of course what led him kind of the early days when he was a poor boy growing up with, of course, as we know, with Joe Robertson, Randy Robertson's father, but how he actually decided to make the decisions to be, as he says, the Lion, as well as asking Spider-Man, saying, yes, you call me the bad guy. Yeah, I am the bad guy. But nobody asks why I'm the bad guy. It's such a wonderful, storyline into who Tombstone is, why he does what he does, and actually what he's playing with Spider-Man. I really do like when he actually tells Spider-Man, even though he has a chance to unmask, like, I don't care who you are. I don't care who's really under that mask. You know what? I've got a plan, and I'm following it, and you know what? You need to understand exactly who I am and how people like you have gotten into business because you're the good guys and I'm the bad guy. It's very telling storyline that Wells actually does very well, as well as the other pieces he has, like I said, between Janice Lincoln, his daughter, and Randy Robertson, about the marriage proposal and how that works, and a few other things. It's probably the best of the whole issue, but then that goes right into the cons. First of all, as I said before, they still have no talk about from a couple issues ago with the whole big mystery in this 6 months later, including the fact that I know my buddies Mark and Peter are going to definitely talk about with the debt collector and Paul. Why it's an interesting turn to the fact that Paul actually Venmos and pays some of Peter's pieces, but it also causes a lot of other issues. I do like how the debt collector says, well, it's going to cost me $1,500 and I'll disappear for a couple weeks, because his debt from his hospital stay during Spider-Man Beyond is just so bad, you don't want to know. But hey, $1,500, I'll go away for a little bit. Most medical institutions, as long as you're making some severance of a pay, will actually do that. As somebody who has worked in the system, someone who actually does pay his bills and taxes, not all at once, but slowly till they're paid off, guess what? As long as you're making the payments within those areas, they don't care. They don't have people sitting over it. There's still just such weird things going on. And even the weird with Paul here about him talking to Mary Jane, saying, yeah, I love you too, but I gotta go tell Peter he needs to stay away from you and so forth. But I'm gonna help him out. As the debt collector says, like, why are you doing this? Why are you just some nice guy? He's probably just sleeping upstairs, ignoring everything, thinking he can get away with, not paying his bills. It's a weird little piece, and also why there's mystery about who exactly is Paul. It still just leaves a lot of, what? It just doesn't thing, because there's still shady stuff going on with the debt collector as well as things with Paul, which really is why a mystery still makes you kind of go like, but what's the point of this? But also the problem is it's kind of boring. We're not getting anywhere. This storyline actually has been slow. Why we get the point of why Tombstone's storyline focus here and him beating up Spider-Man and even talking, and it's very brutal. I have to admit, it's very brutal. The previews got me brutal. Reading the story, I felt the pain as he's beating him and telling him, his storyline, why he plans to have him kill, have his mess dress up as the Rose, and then have the media and all the other people's blame the Rose for this happening. Spider-Man goes, and as he says, one of your other friends, Daredevil, Captain America, I don't care, will take care of the Rose for me and actually leave me alone so I can just do my business like Leonard. But after that, I'm going to go take care of your buddy old Joe Robinson, old Straight Arrow, because guess what? His son wants to marry my daughter. You know what? I actually do have a problem with that. it's an interesting little take thing, but like I said, there's just no end. Also, we completely still ignore from a couple issues ago exactly what was the 6 months ago that Spider-Man did that actually caused him on the outs with everybody, both in his superhero life and as Peter Parker. And of course, as we know, in 3 issues, 900 coming up, we're going to supposedly find out what that big story is. Also, it's also dropped with the whole Sinister Six. We know Dr. Octopus was dropped. There was a hint last issue that certain other of Spider-Man's main villains have kind of disappeared off the map, but everybody's like, oh, well, I just got to worry about this. Hey, gang war again, everybody. It's a white rabbit, everybody. Hoppity, hoppity, hoppy. Hey, Joe, scooch over. I got to do my little thing over here in the limo because we got next issue before you find out what it is. That's really about all I can say about this. Why it's great artwork and a very dark atmosphere, and like I said, I thought it was a very brutal story. I'm actually going to be extremely kind and give this actually a B. It's well actually done with that part of the atmosphere with the gang war and the parts between Tombstone and Spider-Man, and why we don't really get anything really new about Tombstone's early days back when he was a kid and his early gang that we didn't know about before. It's a very well telling story of why he's doing it and why he's getting everything set up for Spider-Man, and of course still why he holds those grudges against Joe Robertson after all these years. So that part of the issue is really well done, while the rest of it is kind of like, huh? Okay, but the problem is the story is so slow. It is so slow. We're still getting this build-up, and then, of course, the issue's being delayed, which I know is more of an artistic and shortage issue, but still, it is such a low-building storyline. I think we're going to kind of forget about everything, dolls, and here's 900, and here's the Sinister Adaptoid coming up with a storyline. Yeah, it's okay. And that's all I really have to say. So with that, guys, I think that's all I'm going to talk about for this issue and review of Reads with Spider-Man Amazing #3. So I'll talk to everybody later, and of course, for more information as well as my fellow reviewers' thoughts process on this issue, of course, check us out at the SpidermanCrawlspace.com. We have a new logo, new updates, and a beautiful little pieces for everything you want, from Spider-Man news, the podcasts, the videos, and more. So check us out there. And on that note, guys, I will see everybody later, because I'm getting a call probably from my fellow reviewers saying I got this out faster than them. I'll talk to everybody later.